Hello, everybody out there. Subscribe to my channel. This is King Harper, Roger TV. I'm back again. I do apologize because I want to do more talks and more videos, to get out there and talk to you guys. There's a lot going on in favor of community, a lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of things to do. YouTube is a broad perspective of a lot of things, but we are talking about what's important to us. And that's what we're doing here. And in New Voices of Black Media, I follow. I consider myself a part of. I am the grassroots of the Black conscious world. I'm the grassroots, what I'm saying, the political astute people, of Black people that are fighting in terms of laws, in terms of us and justice and all of that. But you have to do this right. The right way to do it is everybody pitch in and understand who to listen to and how to listen and what to learn. Do not try to change things in terms of fanaticism to say it's not something that you clearly see what it is. We know we're being treated with racism in our country by partisanship from both parties. We understand that we have chosen lesser evils when we vote. A lot of people looked at Joe Biden as a lesser evil. I get it. And I love you. I love my sisters and brothers. I talk to you guys all the time out there. However, I understand that what they're actually doing by me studying politics and following political astute people and leadership, I understand what they're doing. And I'm going to tell you what they are trying to do, and we won't allow it. They're trying to put groups in power, in proximity to power over Black people in the country besides just whites, and they've been doing it. This is what happened with the Asians. This is why they own businesses. This is why that immigrants come to this country and get loans and get inside our policies. Now we have President Joe Biden in office, which a lot of Black people overwhelmingly went out and voted for. Okay, I don't hate you, but I have to be honest and you have to know what's going on. The reason I do these talks are confrontational talks because Black people, we need to understand confrontational is okay as long as it's balanced. We need to normalize confrontational talking points so that we can be a proximity to our respect and power. And we need that. That's what we need for our very lives to live, to be able to access an opportunity and move, adjacent to society in terms of respect and what society respects. And that's wealth, that's opportunity, and that's a people of standing. We don't need to be docile and keep continuing to allow things to happen to us. So what they are doing, let's get back to talk about what they actually are doing. They're putting people in power spectrum over us. They're putting people in power sector over Black people. That's what they're doing. And, they're giving illegal immigrants policies and protections, and they was even giving the illegal immigrants protection when Trump was in office. This is how powerful the Democratic Party actually is. They're called big government. They have more power. They own the media. They run all the media outlets. They won the culture war because they overwhelmingly got the votes. The liberals and Black people decided that we was going to vote for them. I think it was Lyndon, one of the presidents that did something for Black people. And we end up voting Democrat overwhelmingly. And so they have a lot of power and they don't have to respect you because they have what they call power. What they do is tell you what to do as a Black person. But everyone else that demanded something or even didn't demand anything got policy from them. They just signed during the conviction of Derek Chauvin, who murdered George Floyd in the street. That day, in between that day and the next day, they signed the Asian hate crime bill. When we are Black people have been mistreated and deal with anti-Black hate crimes against the police department and other citizens that are non-Black or anti-Black. We've been dealing with hate crimes from Asians in Asian shops, Black people getting thrown to the floor, shot, killed, Peter Lee Yang protesting against him and his group, all kinds of Asians protesting against who we are in terms of us being protected, standing in protection, was being killed by police. We can't even get police reform, and they are getting billion-dollar bill passes. They have our 1-800 number they can call in case you say something they don't like. You don't have to hit these people. Hear what I'm saying? You don't. This is what's in effect now. This is what the Biden administration did. They just put that in effect. They've been trying to do it. They got it through the House and the Senate. Now we have an Asian hate crime bill, and they use Black people they use us as like the ones who are harming them just to get it passed, when we got people in the country that are harming Asians. Whites are harming Asians way more than Black people. especially with them shooting them, killing them, and doing other things, saying racist stuff to them. But they're saying stuff like, well, I don't know if it was a hate crime, this person was this, that. But when black people come in contact with Asians, unfortunately, they say it's a hate crime, and we don't come in contact with them necessarily a lot in terms of hating them. But when we do, lately they've been putting that on the news and using that and blasting that across the media as a narrative to paint the picture, because they have no respect for black people. You see, bipartisan. Our government is choosing not to respect us because we don't stand. We're not loud enough. We don't expose our politicians when our politicians agree with their agenda. And our politicians agree with their agenda because our politicians look at their seat in government as a job. They serve the Democrat Party. They don't serve the people. They're looking at politician exchange and policy exchange as a duty, what they should do. So they're going with the agenda of the Democrat Party. They're not serving us. But this is the first rule of law, self-preservation. And I've been saying it on a lot of my videos. A lot of people don't understand self-preservation is required of them by us. It's not truly required by us, but it should be. This is what we're doing. We're telling you how to approach government, how to approach leadership. We are to require policy and protection by our people that are in leadership, that are in power over us, that have a seat of Senate, a seat of government in terms of our livelihood and our protection. That's self-preservation. Instead, they have to do something while they're there. So what they should be doing is us. Instead of them protecting us, they are signing bills and agreeing with the Oval Office, people that empower over them. That's why I say our politicians are politically slaves. But we are here to dismantle that. They're politically slaves. They serve other groups. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I'm here to tell the truth because it stops here. We can't keep continuing to dying by the hand of anti-blackism because we don't speak up. I can't continue to risk my life because I can't tell my family the truth. I can't continue that because I can't be transparent, a powerful truth teller, and a politically astute person. I can't keep risking my life because of that. That I want to say something that you like. I want them here to be, confrontational, balanced, confrontational, an aggressive, assertive, to be truthful with you so you can understand what is really happening and what we need to stop right now, because it's very important. It's very important and it's very serious. So you got the president that you voted in, you got the Oval Office and the administration passing bills that support other groups who harm us, and passing bills in the very sector while we're suffering and fighting for justice. The day that we get someone convicted for something they've never been convicted for in that state, Minneapolis, where George Floyd was murdered, the same day they passed the Asian hate crime bill. This is meticulous. And so we're not loud enough. So what I'm saying here, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about, guys. But let's listen up. So we are at the grassroots talking, people like me, and the new voice of black media. And I want to tell you a lot of this stuff that Black Lives Matter is doing, they're getting they're getting some of their aims from us, from the people at the grassroots and the new voices of black media. They're fighting from what we're saying, but their intent was to get out there. They were angry and they were going to build something, but we are tearing them apart. Some of them we're exposing and educating how to understand what they're doing. That's why they're showing up at people's houses now, because we understand power is unity. Unit. We have to have a conform. We have to have a developed unit, an anchored unit, and that's what we're doing. Not just to be out there in the street, but understand what you're fighting for in them streets. Even though we got to start somewhere and get to the next space. Okay, I get that. But however, we understand what's going on. We understand the chessboard that they're using. So they're giving people policy. Really? And we're the ones really truly affected in terms of hate. I mean, we deal with systemic racism. They're trying to get back to what they're trying to do. They're trying to put groups above us, and that's what they're doing. They put Latinos above black people. They got Asians above black people. They've been doing it for Asians. Immigrants that come in this country. What's happening is white people are dying, and they're trying to give the country to other groups instead of us. They want us to still stay in the anchored place of ingenued slavery, in terms of slavery being political, economically, and industrial. Not just slavery the way it was in terms of chattel slavery, but it built a battery. Our existence built a battery that batterizes the country in terms of where we come from and how we're anchored and how we've been mishandled for ourselves, but for someone else, the greater good. Well, see, that's how you treat a slave. When you give policy to other people, when the slaves voted you in, or the ex-slaves, they want the other people that come to this country to understand black people only go so far. Black people support the idea of other people's success. That's what slaves do. We don't understand freedom. We don't understand it. Black people are political neophytes, and we don't understand it. You have to call people out directly for who they are. You say, let the bra show on your face. Those who teach me, you say that you're going to stand. You stand. Don't get flowered down. But you have been as a black person. It has happened to you at large. It's also happened to me. But I choose the revolutionary mindset for the greater good and the sake of growth and progressive power for my group. Because I understand I'm important. I understand we are dying out here because of this. Not just being killed by police, but starved to death. Don't have good jobs. Black people living in hotels in big cities, working 2 jobs just to stay in a hotel because the prices of real estate is changing because everybody has money, not just white people. Immigrants have gas stations and businesses. These people live in enclaves in our cities, in our tax dollars, being protected, with fireplaces shooting out of every side of their houses. And we're supposed to get those loans. We're supposed to be in protections. We are in litigation with our country. We're supposed to have reparations. Every black person is worth $4 to $5 million on his person, and we don't have it. We never got our 40 acres in a mule. Our 40 acres in a mule is a damn plenty. That's a lot. If we had that, and we look at that like, oh, that was a long time ago. Oh, yeah. But all the 40 acres that we were supposed to have, other people got them, and the KKK stole them. So that's why people getting paid for putting Walmart on those 40 acres. Kroger. Big old buildings, IT, apartment buildings, condos, houses, being in network projects. That's called business camaraderie. They're exchanging in business camaraderie over our heads with things we supposed to have gotten. But everybody else get reparations. So we deserve our inheritance in terms of this government. We pay taxes. Descendants shouldn't pay taxes. The native Indians, so-called, some of us are natives, don't pay taxes. The Jews are being protected in this country because it's historical hardship. That's the same thing happened to immigrants. They're saying they deserve reparations. Biden is giving it to them. President Biden is giving it to them. Asians are now getting reparations. Those who was in concentration camp, the Japanese, did that ring a bell? Now he's trying to give reparations to a lot of different groups now. If you look at it, groups that I didn't even know they exist. We're giving allowances to other countries. We are the first world nation who support the world, the idea of the world. Slavery was the power of this network, was the power of this engine, the blood through my veins, the dying and the killing and the suffering of my people, of us, me. Right now, I'm going around mirroring plantations in pain. I have to pay to get in them. I should be able to get in that place for free. Looking at the fact that my people will cook, hold to chain balls to cook for you and had to whistle to bring the plate so they don't eat. Knowing that my great-great-grandmother was a bed wench. But I don't have any protections. This is insane. It's time for black people to wake up. Seriously. So we don't get our inheritance while people exchanging business over our heads and make money. And now they are in control and basically they become in power over us and we become their political, industrial, and economic slaves because our politicians are slaves. Mr. John Lewis, may he rest in peace. But I'm not going to say rest in power. His policy on his desk and in his terminal was immigration. That's what they wanted him working on, and he did. But he used the face of black people's struggle to exist there. It wasn't necessarily his fault. But because he's an elder, he could have done more, if you ask me. It becomes down to an opinion also. But this is an example of what I'm saying. James Clyburn, highest paid politician, black politician in North Carolina, getting up on TV saying, I don't want nothing for my vote. I'm past the promise. I just want a good life for my kids. Speaking for all of us. They asking black people in the public media, what do you want for your vote? And Jim Clyburn get up there and say something like that. And then Asians and other people are saying they want stuff for their vote. Eva Longoria go around telling people the Latino vote counted so that they can get policy and protections. The government protect people. Policy and politics is your life. According to how you live, what you can access. Politically, you were a slave. Politics is your life. So wake up. Follow us, understand what we're doing and saying. And it's hard trying to get us to get on board because we have bought into a social illusion. We have bought into a illusion that we exist in power. No, we don't. Politics is a study. And I study that. Learn to let someone lead you. This is the hierarchy that I withhold. Maybe you hold a different one. But in terms of community, we have to let each other be in our power space, in our respected space, so that we can understand functional exchange, not dysfunctional exchange. We have been relegated to dysfunction through privacy. When you keep people in privacy is adjacent to crime. The white supremacist is very meticulous. They are very sophisticated. They understand this. They know who we are. You don't think people know who you are if you were their property? We belong here. And those who want to go to Africa, and I don't disrespect Pan-Africanists, but those who want to go to Africa and say, let's go back to our home. We were sold from Africa. Africa is in a real bad state. They're letting Chinese colonize their land. They get hurt in those diamond mines and everything. They're suffering. They are in tribalism even. We were created as a people. We are Negroes. We are descendants of slaves. For 400 years, we are a people now. We are registered as a people. Race matters in terms of what we can access and our safety. They use race, Asian hate crime. That's a race bill for them. Policy for immigrants, that's them. Latinos, that's them. White people are white, that's them. But they let other people access whiteness. When they come here, they buffer themselves as white people, just like the Irish did. They weren't necessarily considered a people but they came here and they learned to own slaves and get on the board, and they fixed themselves and buffered themselves as white. Now they're white people, also the Italians. You have to understand what's going on here. We have to really understand this. Yes, I give credit to, much obliged. I'm happy that we're going in front of people's house. It's pull up summer. We're showing up. And we're showing out. We're letting them know it stops here. But we can't stop. And we have to listen to each other talking points. And you have to hear these facts. And we have to share these things. This is where we keep going. Yes, I'm glad that we standing. I'm glad we got Chauvin convicted. But then there was another killing right after. And then one after that. Daunte Wright. She knew exactly what she was doing. You don't mistake a taser from a pistol. It's in two different locations on the body armor for the police. So we have to they're trying to take the wind out of ourselves as we fight for power. And they're not the only ones. A lot of immigrants are agreeing with white supremacy because they want to get on the side where the most power is at. We don't have any true friends, but we're the only ones that know how to legitimize movements. We're the only ones that understand the structure of the system because we built it. We built it and we invented mostly everything that people use that are comfortable today. And we don't realize who we are. And we took the bite, we took the butter biscuits, we took the bite of being in the hood, going crazy, listening to rap music, going crazy. We took that being exploited. We were never corrected. In the beginning, when they set the slaves free, we were never giving the proximity to power. We were never giving the respect of the community and the laws to be a real citizen. The 13th Amendment freed my people, so-called freedom, not real freedom. And other people benefiting from it now. They're trying to give our laws and amendments to other groups. They belong to us, and we need to have self-preservation. We need first-class citizenship. We deserve it. How else are we supposed to live? I don't want to die because I want to be nice to somebody. I'm not going to do that. And that's what a lot of black people want us to do. And we don't see why you're doing that. You think that's cool. It's easier. No, it's not. They coming. No, but we coming. We got to understand this. It's okay to respect your family and stand up. Power is taken, not given. Power is taken. And there's ways to take it. But if we don't have organized unit, we cannot do that. Divide and conquer is very real. That is what's been happening to us. Not any other group. No other group exists like we, the descendants of slaves, not even Africans. They come here to be in a better country as well. They come from tribalism and they understand kingship. We don't. But we built the country, and the world has benefited from the descendants of slaves in America. Cotton supported the world's population, 75%. My family, my people, our blood. The blood in our veins, our blood is in that flag, in this soil, our bones. But yet other people get policy before we do, and we not loud enough, we don't say nothing. That's why they can disrespect us, because we don't understand how to respect ourselves. We're not using self-preservation. We're not using that as a tool or intellectual tool in our policy, in our community, in our exchange, our substantial exchange. So we have to expose our politicians, and that's what we're going to do. That's why we're talking. Now, there's a lot of black people getting mad at this because you all believe in a narrative and believe in a social construct that don't exist for you. That's why you're angry. You believe in this vote, these Roland Martin people and all that. That stuff is not real. Those people are pivoting for relevance, and some of them don't even know it. We're systemically harmed, and that's from the inside. We have to unlearn and relearn. I'll be back to talk to you so we can stand up and fight. We have to pull this apart. Confrontational is the thing, but we have to unlearn and relearn. This is not 1, 2, 3 simple. If it was, we would have been corrected. We have a nation of people that has been against us systemically by business and by partisanship and in policy and in protections and in terms of finance and the way we exist. And this is where it stops. Thank you for joining me. Let's get together, follow the new voices of black media and the grassroots of people like me. Okay, let's follow each other and let's get together and talk in policy. And I follow Jason Black. A lot of people might not like him because he's very real and he's very forthcoming. He's thick. But I'm telling you, us men need leadership. Black people, gear up. Thank you for joining me. King Harp, Roger TV.